Hello and welcome to Connect. I'm your host, Randy Shabilo. Today's show will feature the artistic director of the Fireside Singers, Marilyn Whitehead, in their 45th year. And as always, we'd like to connect with you.
Tweet us at Shaw TV Saskatoon. Follow us on Facebook. Check out Shaw TV Saskatoon on YouTube to watch past episodes, or email shawtv10@shaw.ca with any future guest or topic suggestions.
The Fireside Singers and Marilyn Whitehead are leading into their 45th season, and I've invited Marilyn to come in today and give us a little bit of insight into the organization and her vision for the future. And Marilyn, thank you for making time to come in today.
Thank you for having me here.
I want to talk a little bit about the organization and start with maybe yourself and a little bit about your history here in the Saskatoon area.
Well, I've been here a long time. I've probably been teaching voice in the city for close to 50 years. And so Fireside Singers are kind of a high point in my career. Lots of beautiful singers have developed that are having careers on the concert stage, operatic stage, musical theater stage, actually making a living on it. So it's a pretty spectacular feeling. But I think I get most of my gratification from what we produce with the Fireside Singers.
How did, I guess, 45 years ago was the inception and the concept of it all. How did that start and how did it progress to where it is today?
That started as sort of a finale to my music recitals within my studio. I had a piano and vocal class, and at the end we would sing 4 or 5 songs in beautiful harmony, and they were exquisite singers, so it was an outstanding moment that needed to blossom, and it just evolved from my parents' home to the Mendel Art Gallery to larger facilities, out to Circle Drive Alliance, and I think we've been at TCU probably 12 years or more.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Talk a bit about your mom and dad, because they were long-standing members of the community and left a legacy of sorts for a lot of us. Talk a bit about them.
Well, they were amazing people. My mother's still alive. She's 97 and a half, and she's my greatest push, my greatest fan. Both of them very musical, but not an awful lot of background, just enough to sort of keep that discipline going so that the interest was always there. But from a family of 5 children, and all love music and all enjoy the arts. So it's pretty wonderful. Yeah, we have a lot of respect for them.
When we look at the Fireside Singers and the contribution, there's a host of organizations in the city, and Saskatoon is very much alive in the arts, and the music scene here is very lively. What do you look for with the membership and those that come forward to sing with the group? What are some of the criteria that we see? Well,
for many, many years, they were just my studio. They were trained singers, and gradually we decided we'd like to do some music that involved the male voice. So we opened the choir up to about 3 or 4 men. That's all we had against about 50 or 60 girls. So that, again, evolved as people auditioned that were really sensitive, wonderful people. I think I interview that way as well as the gifted voices, so they become part of a really knit group.
When you see some of the productions and you're looking at the Christmas shows as a for instance, do you have some core music that you draw from, or do you look for different themes?
That's our biggest challenge every single year, is making sure we have a balance within that program, that people come because they know they're going to hear really good Christmas music, and we have tremendous arrangements of some of those carols that you've got to hear. And then we do other lighthearted ones, and they have some fun ones, but then we take it to another direction where Christmas isn't always spiritual and it isn't always joyous. It's nostalgic and emotional. So we do a lot of songs that are not Christmas at all. They just have a tremendous power to their text, and we try to inspire people, make them feel good at this time of year.
I think that's a key word, is the inspiration. That I never have really been a fan of, the traditional Christmas music every year. There's only so many ways you can sing that. But attending the show for the first time a couple of years ago was a real eye-opener, and it just left me with a different feeling, and I think that's what I keep hearing from a lot of the people that do attend. Talk a bit about the music and the musicians that are also with the
Well, we have a
organization.
phenomenal orchestra, phenomenal, all directed by Bonnie Nicholson, who's such a gifted individual. She's our pianist, but our orchestral director and our arranger. She does everything for us, but she spearheads the whole group. And then we have a group of outstanding Saskatoon musicians that are just absolutely amazing people and musicians. And then we have gifted artists that come back. Our Saskatchewan talent is amazing, like you say. So we have Guy Few and Alan Harrington and Kerry Dewars all coming back from their universities. And I mean, they're performing on many continents, these people. They are really, really esteemed within their own discipline. So we have this huge orchestra of really gifted people. So that gives us the opportunity to change into costumes instead of just standing formally like we did for many, many years. We get to change, and then these instrumentalists wow the audience with their skill. So it's a really beautiful balance.
I'm going to ask about some of the costuming, because I think that was a big takeaway for me, that there was just didn't seem to be any end to it. How did that start?
Actually, that started way back at 3rd Avenue, where we didn't want anything to stop. So we'd have the seniors singing, and the juniors would walk on and they'd sing together, and then the seniors would walk off and the juniors would sing. So that sort of seamless kind of concert was our concept, and it's kind of worked. You really don't have any downtime, so as much as sometimes there's quite a few numbers on the program, it's always exciting right to the very end.
The cast and crew behind the scenes, stagehands and so on, this just isn't about 50 or 70 or 100 singers. There's a lot more happening behind.
No, I've got an amazing crew of front and back and people helping coordinate and just pool all their expertise. It's an amazing endeavor, and we certainly couldn't do it without them. They're tremendous.
How do you, in terms of the rehearsals and so on, because some of the choreography even, it's all very, sharp and crisp. How much time do you spend with the cast and crew on that?
Well, sometimes we feel not enough. It's certainly always a pressure right to the end to try to make it, the ensemble, really sharp. But some of them are repeated, which makes it easier, right? We take our program and we do some from last year, and then we do some new stuff to challenge the choir. But we start in October with our Christmas production, and then we start some Sunday afternoons in November. So it's not huge, but they get to be lengthier rehearsals. And we do spend a little bit of time at choreo. We have to.
Oh, it shows,
but it adds so much,
absolutely,
right? And
yeah.
it's really good for them, right? It used to be years we would stand and we would just sing perfectly, and we'd have people fainting at the back because it was hot and it just not moving. Now they get to move and do things, so it's really quite fun, and I think it's entertaining for the audience.
I can attest to that.
Yep.
If we had a theme, I think you have.
Yes, this year. I think we always have sort of a prayer for peace, and we sort of send it that way. But this year, our theme is believe. We're doing 3 numbers that I believe, when we believe, and because we believe. And my thoughts are, as I said, Christmas is not just spiritual, but it's your belief in God. The second stage is the belief in the spirit of Christmas and the magic and the nostalgic part of the Christmas. And the third part is belief in yourself. Believe in what you can do if you're persevering, and go for it, and how can you make a difference in this world. So I think it works for us as well. Mm-hmm. Our repertoire is chosen for you as an audience, but it's also for us to feed off. It's kind of fun.
You mentioned about some of the varied backgrounds of some of the singing population that you have with the group. Can you shed some light on their training or their skill sets that they have? Because some have gone on to some competitive type of singing.
Yes. Right.
Talk a bit about that.
Well, a large number. Oh, that's always kind of scary because I don't want to mention or forget to mention people. But quite a number of them are out there doing exactly what they loved doing as they went through the studio. They would win at festivals and win the scholarships at provincial levels and move on. And even at the national level of vocal, our Danica Loren has achieved amazing things with the Toronto Opera Company. Regan Teal is still doing work at in Toronto, and there's just so many of those kids that kind of get their roots here and off they go, and they make Saskatchewan proud.
I like the launching pad that seems to come from a lot of this. If we look at other productions that you've done, musicals, what are some of those and what's been involved in trying to get those here?
Well, I think we started doing musicals about 11 years ago. I think this is our 11th or 12th show. And those have grown as well. They started in a little church over in the other side of the city, and they grew to a bigger church, and then again blossomed at TCU, where we've got lights, sound, and an amazing stage. So it's all been a growing curve for all of us, and each one seems to be kicking it up a notch more. But we've had wonderful reviews on it being as powerful as anything people have seen in New York and Toronto and whatever. I've just got some amazing talents that I couldn't be more proud of. So
it shows on stage, and I think the passion that, you know, are they actors or are they soloists? I don't know what to call them.
Oh, they're everything, right? You have to do it all, right?
If we look at how something does come to the city, what is the process involved with you, with a concept and what's available out there? How does that timeline between I like this one to ticket sales, what happens there?
Some are easy to get. There's hundreds of shows, but we tried so hard to get Les Mis for probably 8 years. That's all I wanted to do was Les Mis, and it suddenly came available, and we did it. It was sort of the high point of my career to that point. Some of them just won't come available, and we just keep asking and asking. So I think if there's a traveling show within the country, you can't get the performing rights for it. So that's the difficult
the limitations
challenge.
of how that
the
that
limitations.
Works,
you have to go with.
So when you say you know, you're looking for them, I don't imagine you just go online to Amazon or Costco and look up.
No,
Les Mis
MTI. We go through lists and lists of them. And the other thing is, I've got 100 singers. They want to sing. They don't want to have 5 or 6 actors and then they sit in the wings waiting to come on again. So I have to find a show that's got lots of choral numbers to get them out there dancing, moving, singing, and we've been able to do that. And then our one that's coming up, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, is, I was saying, I think Mencken and Schwartz wrote it for the Fireside Singers.
So it's a customized version of...
No, it's not. But I tried to get rights for that probably 6 or 7 years ago, and we could only do it in German. They wouldn't allow it on this continent. So very interesting, isn't it? But no, it's written for a huge choir on stage for the entire show that is chanting as if they are in the cathedral, and then a group of about 20 or more actors that are called the congregation, and they act out the show, and the music is phenomenal.
When is that coming?
That will be at the end of May, the last 2 days of May. Right now, tickets, I think, will be on sale just before our Fireside concert, so they'd be really nice Christmas gifts. But yeah, it promises to be a definite highlight for us. It's a sensational show.
I can't ask you, in fairness, what's beyond that because it's probably too far away. But do you have something in mind that you're able to share with us? And
oh, I don't think. No, we're one step at a time. I guess we put things out there and wait. And yeah, I wish they'd write more shows that could incorporate larger choruses.
Perfect.
But that's probably a financial issue.
So if people are looking for tickets for the Christmas show and later the Hunchback of Notre Dame, what would they do?
They could go down to TCU Place to the ticket, but tcutickets.ca is where they will get them. Tickets have gone really, really well for the Fireside Christmas production, and as I said, these will be available. The one thing I didn't mention is our special guests. This year we're having the Deason and Bowen families come to do a spectacular performance for us. And this young family of young musicians has been really close to the Fireside family over these past years, and their careers are just blossoming all over the States. And so it's a moment to feature them on our 45th. It makes sense.
I think it's wonderful. Marilyn, I want to thank you, both you and Ed, for your contributions to the city and this fantastic scene that we have. It's a fantastic commitment for a lot of us that have now grown close to the family, and I wish you the best of luck.
I thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.